Hey everybody, Bedrock Commander here, back with another video on how to create infinite minecart tracks that just build themselves. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah, look at that. Just keeps going until the end of the world, which I think is infinite. Look at that. Yes, so in this video I'll be showing you how to do this and even make your own design. So to begin, we'll hit create a new world. And you can name it whatever you want. Make sure it's on creative mode. Yes, there we go. World type, I'm just going to do flat for this tutorial, but you can do any of these types. Although your minecart track will be stopped at the border, of course. Let's see, put show coordinates on. And we'll scroll down here and make sure activate cheats is enabled. Alright, with that, let's get into the world. So now that the world's loaded up, we'll begin creating our minecart track. So how this works is we will build just a part of our minecart station, and we'll use this special block called the structure block that you can only get in creative mode, and we'll just duplicate that structure over here and then duplicate it again each time you go on the minecart rails. So if that sounds complicated, it's okay, don't worry, because we will get to that in a little bit. First, let's build the minecart station. So it can be whatever kind of block you want, however big you want. I wouldn't make it too big because I don't know what the max area the structure block works with. But just, you know, a decent size would work. I'm going to make some pillars like that. Do that for both ends. Put these stairs here for torch brackets. I think that would look pretty cool. Alright, now we're done. We got this, I'll let you be the judge if it looks very nice, but it is a train station. We can say that at least. So, next comes the second part, and this will be a quite interesting part. So let me just clear my inventory / clear. Oh, clear. Okay, now you type /give. I'll do @s, but you can do your name as well. And then type in structure _block. This will give you this weird looking block. Oh yes, and you can tell I'm in a different skin today. So I'll place this just somewhat near the build. How about here? And you'll notice a square appears. Now, pretty much that's what the structure block is looking at. So if I go in here, that square, all right here, that's the same one that's out here. So this is what the structure block sees. And what we want the structure block to see is just this minecart station. So we don't want it to see anything else. We want it to be as precise as we're willing to make it. Since this, the green means Y, if you mine down here, you'll see the red, that's the X. And then if you mine down here, that's the blue, which is the Z. So, seeing as the X is going in this direction, and if we go here, we see in the top right where it says position, the -10 is counting down. So pretty much that means this is the positive direction. So, to move this square over to fit our minecart station, we can go into here and go to offset, and let's start moving the X in the positive direction. So as you can see, the building's starting to come into focus. But as you notice, yeah, our box is not big enough to fit the entire building in. So what we can do is I will change the size. How about 10? I'll change Z to 10, and might as well change Y to 10. The Y value doesn't have to be perfect, because that's just the up and down value. But I like to have the X and the Z value as close as possible to this building. So, let's see. We want to move it across the X-axis, so I'm going to try, how about a 4? Yeah, that'll work. And you notice it's a little bit too big. It has a little bit of extra stuff here. So I'm just going to get rid of that by changing the size down by 1 block, and then just moving this over another block. Oh, wrong direction. There we go. Alright. So now it looks like we have the X direction. We're pretty much lined up on the X side, as you can tell by this red line. So now we need to work on the Z side. So I'm going to first shift the Z over. How about just one? Oh, I realize that's the wrong direction. This is kind of trial and error for me. So I'm going to hit -2, which will shift it in this direction. How about -1? There we go. So we got the pretty much the entire structure in. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of the Y, which is the up and down value, a little bit, because we're going to have to build things underneath here, and I want those to be saved with the structure as well. So I'll just build this, how about 14? And I will, how about -3? There we go. So that looks like enough down here. As you can tell, the Z value perfectly fits our structure, and the X value perfectly fits our structure. Alright, so now I'm just going to name the structure. So, I mean, since we're making a train station, I'll call this train, even though it's, you know, not a train. But then I'll hit save, and you'll see it changes to my structure train. Don't worry, that's fine, totally normal. So now I'll leave this, and as you notice, this square is perfectly fit along with what we saw in the block, and that's because this is what the block sees, and we'll turn this off later on, so you won't have all these things in the way of your magnificent build. So, let's see. So what you need is, go to the right place, get a detector rail, because we're gonna copy that structure once we hit the detector rail, and then it'll copy over here. So we'll get the detector rail. We'll also need redstone right here, and then finally just type /give @s and then command_block and hit enter. This will give you a command block. So I'll explain what we need the command block for in a little bit, but first I'm going to find a nice place to put the detector rail. I'm going to maybe do it somewhere, how about here? Not exactly in the middle, but it's pretty close, because I want the structure to have time to load and copy over to here. Alright, so now that we have this, I'm just going to mine down so we can work underneath the detector rail. So this is directly underneath the detector rail, so I'll place a redstone here. So if I were to get a minecart now, just type minecart, there we go, and place it here, you'll see that the redstone lights up. So that's what we want. So first, I'll place the command block. And pretty much what I want this command block to do is whenever the redstone signal activates, whenever I hit this detector rail, I want it to turn this detector rail into just a normal rail like this. That way, if I drive over this again, I'm not reloading the structure back over here, because that just doesn't, you know, I like to make things seamless. So back in the command block, I'll type /set block. Now what it needs coordinates, so I will use the squiggly lines, which mean it's relative to the command block. So if I did this, it would be the exact block the command block's on. But since I want to replace the detector rail, I'm going to count up, let's see how many blocks away this is. So this would be 1 block, and then the rail is a second block, so 1, 2. So I have to go up 2. So how this works is the first squiggly is the X, second one is the Y, which is up and down. So since this is the up and down, I'll hit 2. So now the command block is going to set the block 2 above, but we need it to go 1 over. So if I look at the position up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see right now it says -2, 4, -11. If I walk 1 this way, you'll notice that the Z value changes, because how it goes is -2 is X, 4 is Y, so if I jump, changes, and then the last number is Z. So since Z is getting bigger when I walk towards this, that means that I want the Z to be 1 bigger here. So I'll hit a 1. And what this will do now is the block will know 2 up, so it'll detect this, and then 1 over in the Z, positive Z direction. So now it'll set this block to whatever we want. So now we want it to be a rail. So, not an acacia button. So just type in rail and hit enter. Or don't hit enter, just X out. There we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to test this out now. Look at that. It changed into a normal rail. Very useful. So I'm just putting back the detector rail because we need now to get the structure block. So you kind of know how it works. This is what it's looking at right now here. I'm going to turn off this structure block because we don't need to see the boundary anymore on our first one. We already know it's doing the whole structure. So now for this structure block, we want it to be lined up exactly with this structure, but we want it to be this way. So we don't want it to touch this structure, but we want it to be so close it's pretty much right next to it. Because wherever the box is, when we load in the structure, that's where it'll load this thing into. If that doesn't make sense, I can show you in a second what I mean. So right now we're on save mode. We're going to go to load mode. And it wants a structure name. So remember, we named our structure train. So if I type in train and hit enter, it immediately changes size. And this is because this box right here, that is the size of our train station. So whatever's in this box when we hit load, it'll turn into a train station. So we don't want all this stuff to be in it though, because then it would just copy over and replace it. We want it to be right next to it, but not in it. So what we're going to do is line this up as close as possible. So right now we have the X, Y, and Z. So I just turn this around, you can see the red, which is X, yellow, which is Y, and blue, which is Z lines. So first, let's move this along the X. So if I go, let's see, positive X, what will it do? It'll go too far this way. So we want it to go negative X. Let's do a -3, -4. There we go. See, now it's perfectly aligned on the X-axis. Except for that creeper. Well, just here. Just hit not include entities. There we go. Now, let's go to the Z-axis. So right now, it looks like our Y-axis is good because it's getting all the command block, or getting the structure block, which is on the same level as the command block. So it's getting everything we need. So now on the Z level, we need to move this 1, let's see, 2, and 3. Now we don't see the structure, but since we lined it up pretty much perfectly, we should now, oh, hello. We should now see it's perfectly aligned with this structure. As you can see, now that we have this, we're onto the final stages. So we'll go back into the first command, or the first structure block we have, which has this, and we'll turn include entities off because the creeper's still, you know, hanging out down there. Actually, first let's fill this back up. So I'm just gonna fill the hole back so it's seamless. And here we go. Now I'll go back into the structure block and hit save. And what this will do is it'll save over the copy that I just made. There we go. So that looks good. You can actually see under a little bit. Now, one thing I should mention is that under here in the structure block, you want to make sure the Y level is the same as, like it goes, it's like since we saved the block, or saved the structure 3 blocks under, we want to make sure that the Y level for this is 3 blocks under as well. So it's not like stacked above, if that makes any sense. Just make sure the Y level below for where you load the structure is the same as how you saved it. So I believe that's correct because I think we saved it 3 blocks below and we're loading it 3 blocks under. So this is the moment of truth. We will find out if this works. Let's go. Oh, you know, I should have put a power rail, but that's okay. You can do that, and just remember to save the here. I'll do that now, actually. So it'll look bad for my YouTube thumbnail if I just 1 mile per hour minecart. Yeah, here we go. Just type in power rail. The rail of power. Now let's get a torch. redstone torch. Here we go. Alright, I'll just set this here and there. Okay. Now I'll just come into here, and since it's still looking at our first one, we can just hit save. Oh yes, we need to put the detector rail back because it saved it without the detector rail. We don't want that, so let me see. That's where we want the detector rail. Okay, hello creeper. Still there. I think I'll name him Jimmy. Oh yes, yes. And one more thing. See how the there's still like the square, what is it, the square lines? All you have to do is go here, go into your structure block, and turn off show bounding box. There we go. That one's still on because it copied it when show bounding box was off. So yeah, or when it was on. But if you turn that off before you start copying, it should work fine. Okay. Now we hit save, and it should work. I hope that last part made sense because that was not scripted, as you can tell. Look at that. And as you notice, see these detector rails? They're disappearing behind us. That's because we have the command block with the set block, and you can just go on forever like this. I realized that my roof is not totally closed in, and that's just because I saved a part of the structure that didn't have a roof, so it just yeah, it does that. But hey, that's okay. That's okay. Hey, chickens. They probably kind of surprised when they saw, you know, just a minecart track building right in front of them. But yeah, this is it. You can impress your friends with this. I don't know, make a giant, insanely long tunnel. Yeah, really whatever you want. Thanks for watching. This is the Bedrock Commander, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.